Brothers and sisters, I promised you that the gold of our land will no longer feed strangers, but our own children. Today, that promise is becoming reality.
Once, Burkina Faso was a paradoxal land brimming with gold, yet shrouded in poverty. The earth held treasures beyond measure, but our people went hungry, scraping by for the barest necessities. For years, foreign giants plundered our resources, hauling away our gold while our homes stayed barren. It was as if we owned a wellspring of milk, yet others drank while we starved. Then rose a leader with unyielding resolve, a vision that burned bright, and a heart ablaze with purpose. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the president of Burkina Faso. He gazed upon our land and our people and declared, "Enough. The riches of our soil belong to the Burkina and no one else." Thus began the Golden Revolution, a movement that would reshape our destiny. This revolution wasn't forged in chaos or hollow rhetoric. It was built on action, courage, and wisdom. President Traoré rewrote the rules that had long tilted in favor of foreign powers. He reclaimed our nation's birthright, ensuring that Burkina Faso's gold would fuel Burkina Faso's future. Where others bowed to pressure, he stood resolute. Where others saw peril, he saw promise. The results were nothing short of breathtaking. In 2024, our nation gathered over 8 tons of gold under this bold new vision, a triumph that echoed through history. But then, in the first 3 months of 2025 alone, we achieved the unimaginable. 11 tons of gold, more in a single quarter than in the entire year before. Picture a nation once robbed of its wealth, now amassing its own fortune. This wasn't chance. This was leadership. This was sovereignty in action. Captain Traoré proved that when a people claim their resources, miracles unfold. The wellspring that once ran dry now flows abundantly, nourishing our land and its future. The Golden Revolution is about more than gold, it's about pride reborn. For the first time in generations, Burkina stand tall, proclaiming, "This is ours. This is our land. This is our legacy." Children dream of futures built on their nation's wealth. Farmers envision fields that feed not just their families, but an entire people. Soldiers march with the strength of a thriving economy behind them. The Golden Revolution is a saga of defiance, a leader who refused to let his people languish in a land of plenty. It's the story of Burkina Faso rising, radiant as the gold it claims. And this is only the dawn. For too long, Burkina Faso's tale was one of heartache. Beneath our feet lay rivers of gold, but our people lived in want. Foreign corporations, armed with mighty machines and ironclad contracts, pillaged what was ours. They carved into our earth, carted away our riches, and left only echoes of broken promises. Villages stayed poor, schools crumbled, and hospitals faltered. It was like a farmer watching thieves plunder his harvest year after year, working tirelessly, only to find his stores empty. This was Burkina Faso's truth. Our wealth enriched far-off shores, not our children. Then came Captain Ibrahim Traoré, not with timidity, but with a fire in his soul. He declared, "This ends now. Our resources will serve our people first." With that, he ignited a transformation. He tore up contracts that bled our nation dry and restored power to the state. In some cases, he boldly nationalized what was rightfully ours. This wasn't greed, it was justice. It was about returning to the Burkina what had always been theirs. Impact was swift and profound. Where once we begged for crumbs, now we gathered true wealth. Gold flowed into our nation's coffers, not foreign vaults. Schools that once lacked basics now have hope. Soldiers who once worried about their next meal now stand equipped. Roads, hospitals, and farms are blossoming, built not on foreign charity, but on our own riches. This shift restored more than wealth, it restored dignity. Burkina Faso is no longer a guest at its own feast. It is the master of its house. The lesson is clear: a treasure shared by all is plundered, but one guarded by a strong hand thrives. Under foreign exploitation, our nation withered. Under our own stewardship, it flourishes. The world watched, stunned, as this small West African nation defied the odds. Captain Traoré showed not just his people, but all of Africa that saying, "No to exploitation and yes to ownership is possible." Numbers tell stories, and in Burkina Faso, they sing an anthem of triumph. In 2024, under Captain Traoré's leadership, we harvested over 8 tons of gold, a victory that shook the world. But in the first 3 months of 2025, we achieved the extraordinary 11 tons, surpassing the entire previous year in a single quarter. Pause and let that sink in. A nation once stripped bare was now rewriting its fate. This wasn't luck, it was the fruit of bold policies, fearless decisions, and a leader who refused to let our wealth slip away. Traoré's reforms made the state the guardian of our gold. He established ironclad oversight, transparent systems, and partnerships that put our people first. Where corruption once drained us, accountability now fills our treasury. Each ton of gold is a ton of hope, a ton of pride, a ton of progress. It means teachers paid, soldiers fed, roads paved, and hospitals stocked. Our people feel the pulse of their land's wealth in their daily lives. Pride surges through our nation. Gold is no longer a fleeting dream, it's a shining reality, illuminating every corner of our society. That great leadership draws great allies. And in August 2025, the world saw proof. On the 27th, Ouagadougou welcomed Abdul Salam bin Muhammad al-Marshidi, a billionaire investor and head of Oman's sovereign wealth fund. This wasn't a casual visit. When titans of wealth travel, they come for opportunity, stability, and vision, and that's exactly what Oman saw in Burkina Faso. Al-Marshidi arrived with a powerful delegation, contracts in hand, and billions to invest, bearing the greetings of Oman's Sultan and a pledge to stand shoulder to shoulder with us. Why Burkina Faso? Because under President Traoré, we've shown the world we can harness our gold, secure our future, and forge true partnerships. Unlike the past, when foreigners took and left nothing, today's investors come to build, collaborate, and share prosperity with our people. This is more than money, it's trust. Oman saw a nation on the rise, a star ascending. This visit was a beacon to the world. Burkina Faso no longer seeks handouts, it attracts investment. The Burkinab swelled with pride, knowing their nation now commands global respect. Oman's arrival signaled to others, if a wealthy nation trusts Burkina Faso, more will follow. This was a golden handshake, a bridge between Africa and Arabia, and the dawn of a new era. During Oman's historic visit, 3 transformative agreements were sealed. The first was a joint venture in gold mining, where Burkina Faso stood not as a subordinate, but as an equal. Oman brought capital, expertise, and technology. We brought sovereignty, resources, and resolve. Together, we forged a model where our gold enriches our people first. The second agreement was a sweeping economic partnership spanning trade, infrastructure, and industria candis for shared ambition. Roads, factories, and businesses will rise, powered by Omani investment and Burkinab determination. The third, and perhaps most vital, was in agriculturists and strategic crops. Gold glitters, but food sustains. President Traoré understood this, placing food security at the heart of these deals. Oman pledged to invest in our fertile lands, helping us grow enough to feed our nation and export to others. Envision it: golden fields of rice under the African sun, harvested by Burkinab hands, nourishing Burkinab families. A nation once haunted by hunger is now marching toward abundance. These agreements are more than ink on paper, they are hope made tangible. Proof that Burkina Faso is no longer selling its future, but securing it. The ripple effects of sovereignty are undeniable. First, our military stands stronger with gold revenues, ensuring soldiers are paid, equipped, and proud. A secure nation stands tall. Second, infrastructure is transforming. Roads are paved, schools funded, hospitals stocked, all built with our own wealth, not foreign strings. Third, food security is within reach. With Oman's investment, rice fields and crops are sprouting, banishing the shadow of hunger. Fourth, jobs are blooming. Our youth no longer need to flee abroad. Mines, farms, and industries are hiring, turning dreams into reality. Fifth, global respect is ours. When a nation like Oman sends its billionaire to invest, the world takes notice. Burkina Faso is no longer overlooked, it is celebrated. These ripples prove a timeless truth. Sovereignty isn't just pride, it's progress. When a nation owns its wealth, its people own their destiny. Burkina Faso's story is not just ours, it's Africa's. For too long, our continent has been painted as a land of want and dependence. But today, Burkina Faso carves a new pathon of sovereignty, leadership, and prosperity. Other nations watch, inspired by Captain Traoré's triumph. They see that they too can seize their resources, reject exploitation, and embrace ownership. Burkina Faso proves Africa need not be chit, can stand tall, attract investment, forge partnerships, and shape its own future. This is the essence of true independence. A lion doesn't plead for scraps, it claims its own. Africa, like the lion, must seize its wealth, its dignity, and its destiny. Historians will mark this moment as the spark of a new African awakening, a revolution where nations rise, break free from chains, and embrace their power. Burkina Faso has lit the flame. Now, Africa, it's time to carry it forward.